Have you heard about the newest sport sweeping across the land? It's called Punkin Chunkin, and I'm its new biggest fan. They got machines of every size, they wind them up with care. The object is to chunk a pumpkin farthest through the air. They're like modern day gladiators dueling in the sand. Nobody dies, but everybody tries to be the last one standing. When you're Punkin Chunkin, who can chunk that pumpkin farthest? Punkin Chunkin starts right after the pumpkin harvest. You don't chunk them green with your big machine, they want to see that pumpkin splatter. You don't get no points for the mess you make. Distance is all that matters when you're Punkin Chunkin. When you're Punkin Chunkin, they're like modern day gladiators dueling in the sand. Nobody dies, but everybody tries to be the last one standing. When you're Punkin Chunkin, we be Punkin Chunkin. We be Punkin Chunkin. We be Punkin Chunkin. Yeah, we're Punkin Chunkin.
Eyes to the sky.
Punkin Chunkin was, created based on fun, but, it has developed into a very serious sport. Chunk Norris went through 10,000 pumpkins. 10,000 pumpkins, they narrowed it down to 50 pumpkins, and each pumpkin is designated for different weather conditions.
It's been a wild ride. We started out with a practice shot that's farther than we've ever shot at sea level, 3,900, almost 4,000 feet. And it got us all happy, we're all celebrating, and then our shots after that were just less and less and less, and we were just scratching our heads because we always seem to be cursed. I'm Mike Powers, captain of Chunk Norris, world's best catapult, and we are from New Hampshire. Final shot was 4,091 feet, which is huge. A mechanical's never shot over 4,000, a non-air cannon's never shot over 4,000, and just 3 years ago in 2016, we were trying to break 3,000 feet. And to be able to break 4,000 feet just 3 years later is huge. We went from first to second to third. And we went all the way back up to first. We won the event overall, which no mechanical's done in decades. And we broke our 4,000 foot. Wow, you gotta retire once you've done everything you can do. Our 4,000 foot shot, our machine was at 85% power. We still have another 15% power we can put in with that machine. So we're just gonna keep going. 42, 43, 44, who knows?
We do the event in the middle of nowhere. There's still the whole back and forth of being unhappy about leaving Delaware and coming to Illinois. But we're Punkin Chunkin. We want to make sure Punkin Chunkin happens, and we can make it happen in Illinois. That's what we want to do.
I was born and raised here. I've lived here all my life. I'm 70 years old. Rantoul is a somewhat depressed community.
Growing up in Rantoul was, I would say it's easy going as long as you hang out with the right people. There's a lot of ways to get yourself in trouble here because there's really nothing to do besides get in trouble.
The truth is, I don't know what's about this town, but people like being here. I personally like it because it's a peaceful town.
In 1854, the railroad came through, and that's really when Rantoul started to grow. As time went by, in 1917, the military decided to build their base here. As the base continued to grow, we continued to grow population-wise.
It was huge. I mean, this town was so busy, and there were so many small businesses. And I think when the base closed, a lot of those went away.
As I look at some of these buildings here, I'm just reflecting back at what they used to be and how many people used to walk up and down these sidewalks. It was just Americana at its best. When the base closed, the general population here felt like it was a punch in the stomach. The population went from 27.6 at a high down to about 12,000. A lot of the businesses had to close immediately.
It's always been the same. Like there's barely anything that comes to Rantoul besides new people.
When you take away some of the smaller family-owned businesses, I think we're the ones that suffered. I think people are really invested in bringing Rantoul back.
I think that with more people coming, there will be more business and the town will continue to grow. And I hope it grows for the better, not for worse.
These are contraptions built by people that may or may not have engineering degrees.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good shot, maybe short, very short. Off to your left.
Got a good one off today.
Basics are the trebuchets, the medieval machines with dropping weights and everything. Then you got the catapults or springs and stuff like that. You know, it is a dangerous sport.
Dad's process on this is kind of, there really isn't a process.
We use a rather prestigious engineering firm called Trial and Error. Name's Chuck Willard. I'm from Hancock, New Hampshire. I'm 62 years old. I'm team captain, builder, designer, and owner of Tired Iron. This is adult trebuchet class. I built this myself in my backyard.
Since 2000, we had both been involved with Steve Seegers on Yankee Siege. And when Steve retired Yankee Siege 1 in 2009, Dad wanted to keep going and doing it.
We had a pile of iron in the yard, pulled it out and started cutting and making things fit. And as we encountered problems, we tried this, it didn't work, we had to cut it out and change it.
He comes up with an idea and, well, we'll try it. We'll go weld it up and see what works and what doesn't. Hence the trial and error engineering on here. There has never been any design plan or really any, other than whatever he cooked up in his head, there's never been any plans for how this thing was all going to work.
Well, I don't know if trial and error leads me to be successful. I'm not in first place. But it didn't fire backwards. I did better than my neighbors beside me this morning when their machine broke, and they're a bunch of engineers. As long as it doesn't break in competition, we're pretty happy.
The kids aspect of this event is the most important aspect of it. The adults are just adults being kids and everything.
First place with a shot of 510 feet, representing the kids of Punkin Chunkin, Pumpkin Pirates. Come on up.
Fire in the hole, fire in the hole.
I started when I was 6, so that was a really long time ago, about 9 years. We saw it on the Discovery Channel, and I really wanted to join, so we started building smaller models. This machine and all this competition is really showing me a lot of fun about engineering. So the way this machine works is the pumpkin is going to be in a sling here at the bottom. We've got counterweights up here, and so when we fire this machine, gravity is going to pull this thing down as close as it can to the ground. That pumpkin is going to be on that arm, and it's going to go way up here, and then that sling is going to release that pumpkin into the air, and it's going to fly as far as it can. But this stuff has definitely shown me how much potential engineering has for me, what I can do there.
Everybody do the pumpkin rumble, everybody do the pumpkin rumble, everybody rumble!
And Colossal Thunder is really special. He started in the kids division, and he lost the world record by 100 feet last month in Colorado.
We wanted to give our machine a big name, so we come up with the word colossal. It sounds really big. And then we have the Oklahoma City Thunder, so we like thunder a lot, so we called it Colossal Thunder. Watching Punkin Chunkin on the Discovery Channel Thanksgiving Day 2011 range, and I'm a welder by trade and got into teaching. I love building things, and I seen on the show that a lot of those machines were made out of steel. I work with steel all the time, and that's what I teach. And this is something I knew me and my students had to take part in, so we went after it and started building, experimenting, trying. And within a week after that, actually watching that show, we had a machine built and trying to figure out how to throw a baseball forward, and very exciting and a lot of fun. 2013 is when we got Colossal Thunder built, and we went and competed in Bridgeville, Delaware, and the youth trebuchet division, and we set a new world record of 2,402 feet that year.
All we really want to do is actually have a space where we can chunk pumpkins. My name is Frank Payton. I am the president of the World Punkin Chunkin Championship, and we are at the World Championship event this year in Rantoul, Illinois.